The Living Zen-podcast is a gift from the members and associates of the Victoria Zen Centre to you. If you enjoy it, please be sure to let your friends know about Living Zen. If you'd like to support our community, download the Living Zen-podcast app for iPod, iPhone, and Android. One of the most meaningful ways to show your support is by becoming a part of our Sangha as an associate. Your commitment of $10 a month will ensure that offerings like the Living Zen podcast and our online e-Zendo will continue to be available around the world to everyone with an interest in truly living Zen. To become an associate, please visit our website at zenwest.ca and click on Become an Associate. Many more Zen Talks are available for purchase on iTunes and Amazon.com. Just search for Venerable Eshu Martin. These talks are also available for free on our website to all members and associates of the Victoria Zen Centre. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support. First off, I just want to apologize for being a little tardy of late, or absent entirely due to illness or just busyness. And it's kind of a little bit what I wanted to talk about tonight. I think when people come to engage in this practice of Zen or Buddhism, one of the aspects about it, one of the teachings that people find engaging or interesting is this teaching of no self. And we emphasize it very strongly in Zen Buddhism because in the world generally, in our culture, in our society, not just in our culture and our society, but in culture and society generally, I think, there is a very strong emphasis on selfhood, self, who we think we are, what kind of a person we are, identifying who that is. And I think for many people, the approach to Zen is fueled out of a frustration or a having had enough of this world of me, me, me. So this teaching of letting go of who it is we think we are, letting go of this me, 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 getting more, having more, being more appealing. But one of the mistakes or one of the sort of angles that we take on practice is that we apply this same attitude, this more attitude, to this teaching of no self. So when it comes time to practice the letting go of self, we come with this idea of wanting to be the person or wanting to be able to be the most no self. Absolutely no self. Completely not thinking about myself. We hear these great teachings in Buddhism of the Bodhisattva, the awakening being, which manifests for the benefit of all beings. And so we can get very busy negating the self, belittling the self, letting go of our attachment to self and serving others. And sometimes this feels really good, and we feel like, wow, now I'm really getting into this Buddhism stuff. I'm so not concerned about myself, and I'm so all about being of benefit to other people. Huh? But as we continue doing this, and it happens, I think, in every spiritual tradition. This is not different from the sense of Christian charity or trying to be compassionate or beneficial. But if we keep going at it like this, we have to understand that as we diminish the self, as we do for others, we're still affirming this differentiation, this separation between what we call self and what we call other. As we continue to practice, we have to come to realize that we often make this mistake in our rush to be rid of the self, our rush to let go of the self, to become imbalanced in the other direction, to become vacuous in the other direction, to become self-destructive. Just as when I'm talking about Zazen, Zen meditation, we're sitting here completely opening ourselves to the experience of this moment, which has as its content all things. I'm always pointing out that when I say all things, it isn't just these nice things that pop to mind when we think of meditation, but it is all things. What makes us joyous, what fills us with love, but what scares us as well, what we're ashamed of. And as we sit, we allow ourselves to become level, to dissolve and melt into unification with all things. Likewise, in practice, and particularly in manifestation, as we interact in relationships, as we interact in our work, as we interact in all kinds of environments, this manifestation for the benefit of all beings is universal. It's entirely inclusive. And what this means is that it's not that we melt the self and hold up all other things. Because as I said, in doing this, we're just affirming that there is this difference between this body and those ones out there. This one is just an illusion and it's unimportant. And those are where it's really at. This is a mistake. In Buddhism, the teaching is that this skin bag is just temporary. It's not bad. It's not foul. It's not impure. The mistake that we're worried about or concerned about in Zen is that we're mistaking this temporary bag as something permanent, real, lasting, and fixed. We're so quick to want to get rid of it, to be rid of it. So quick to hold others up above. But this isn't the point. All beings, to be of benefit to all beings, includes this body. Without preference, without holding one higher than the other, we have to include all beings that we are in relationship with, including this very body. How many of us throughout our lives, whether we're parents, whether we're working with people in a sort of healthcare environment, or even as caretakers as children for aging parents or ill parents, how many of us, in our effort to be compassionate, in our effort to be caring or to serve or to be of benefit, drive our own bodies to the point of exhaustion, illness, breakdown? How is it that this truly serves all beings? You can see fairly easily that we make a mistake. So, in our practice as we go forward, we have to recognize that this life that we have, this energy that we have, is nourishment. With it, we can sustain many others. We can feed and nourish and hold up many beings that we are in contact with, we make relationship with. We can be of benefit to our work, to our environment, to the people that we care about. But there is also nourishment that is needed to sustain this body, which sustains all other bodies. We are intimately connected. This is the basis, this is the teaching of Pratitya Samutpada, interdependent co-origination. We are nourished by others. We nourish others. As we practice this awareness, we must continue to become more and more deeply aware of balance. How do we continue to give when we have been completely exhausted? How do we take care of all beings, even this skin bag? Yes, it's temporary. Yes, it's not truly us. But at this moment, there is nowhere else to go. There is nothing else to do. There is only this very moment that has as its content all things. When we talk about wisdom, when we talk about compassion, when we talk about awakening to our true nature, Buddha nature, it is not separate. It's not different. It's not outside of the activity of this very moment. All we are asked, all that is asked of us in practice is to realize this, that we wake up.
Thanks for listening to the Living Zen podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.